and I'm sure I can find it here.
Hello, my name is Anna, and I want to meet a man who will be a part of my heart.
Hello, my name is Natalia. I want to fall in love.
Hi, my name is Angelica. I'm from Nikolaev. My friend actually came to the social last time, nearly 3 months ago, and she gave me a very positive review about this, so I decided to come and to find my love here. It's a great opportunity to meet your love. It's a great opportunity actually to know a person in a very short period of time. For man, for sure, when he comes here, he can lose his mind because of all of these beautiful girls. But I believe in love. In a foreign guy, for sure, I'm looking security at first of all, and serious relationship, because unfortunately our guys can't be so serious nowadays. What exactly man can do incorrectly on the date? At first I'm looking how he's dressed up. If he totally doesn't care and came to me on a date without roses and some old t-shirt, it will give me some image that he doesn't want to meet with me and he seems that I'm like a friend only for him. The right way for the guy, like for me, for example, for sure, if he will invite me to some nice place for dinner, will came with flowers, and will be a very gentleman with me. But there is one thing which completely turned me off, which you ask. It's, for example, when foreigner guy trying to send me his naked photos, or he's trying to insist on meeting with my mother on the first date. It can be crazy. To turn me on, actually it will be nice if the guy will also like to walk a lot, to speak a lot, and will be very open with me and will try to open all his heart and all his thoughts to me. And what about that, what I can tell a guy to come here? For sure, you should be honest with the girl, you should be honest about your intentions. Maybe your intentions not so serious, or maybe you're really looking for a future wife. And I want to give you advice, try to find something more close to you in age difference also, because it's very, very important. So I wish you good luck in this, and I wish you to find your true love, future wife, your health, your feelings, and everything what you can find. Thank you so much.
Okay. Hey guys, good evening. How are you? I'm Bud. I'm thankful for you. Glad that you're here. Welcome to our Monday night live stream. Man, it's been about a month. It's been an interesting month. I'll share that with you in just a little bit. First things first, we're here every Monday night at this time right here, just like this, for all of you guys who are watching us, following us, checking out our website, reading up on our information, watching our YouTube channel, looking at our profiles, interacting with our women, and you're here because you all have one thing in common. You're single, and you don't want to be. You want to fill that gap, that space next to you in your life with a real live, beautiful human being. And we're in the business of just getting good people in front of each other, good men and women. We love what we do. It's fun, it's exciting, and it's involved. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of details. So we just come out here every Monday night to answer a ton of questions and give you a whole bunch of information, which is exactly what I'm going to do for the next hour. There's been a lot that's been going on, and I'll rewind and just share some of the recent events with you. First of all, to those of you who came out in Nashville and Louisville over the weekend, I enjoyed each and every one of you. We had great seminars together, didn't we? It was a lot of fun. You asked me a ton of questions. You put me to work. At the end, man, it was great to meet so many guys. A whole bunch of you made deposits for tours and introduction packages, so you're quite serious and getting ready to go and meet somebody. You took advantage of our seminar specials, and that whole thing was just cool. I also met up with my friend Maddie from Louisville. Matt was on tour with me just a few weeks ago. We had an extraordinary time together. And I got to tell you guys, this weekend was invigorating for me because I met so many incredibly nice guys who are new to us. After 23 years of doing what we do, I know John does as well, and we all do, just to get out in front of you guys, and you're excited about what you're seeing, and you're excited about the opportunity to meet somebody, and we're just getting to know each other. We're just getting started together. And yet we've been doing this for 23 years. So I just love the fact that there are more and more and more men that are coming to this format to meet somebody. And what I want to do is make sure that you take a short, convenient, fun, interesting, romantic, exciting journey straight to that girl who's waiting to be discovered for you without a whole lot of pitfalls and problems and holes to fall into. So let's get your questions answered tonight. Here's how you can do that. There's a green box right above me. It says text your question to me. Do that. I've got an admin panel, and I'll read your questions and be very, very happy to answer them for you throughout the hour tonight. We have a little topic we're going to cover for you. The topic is what I call how to build and have a simple and blessed life. This is something that I did years ago. I talked about it in a blog. I'm going to expand on it a little bit tonight because tonight it's very, very relevant. How to build a simple and blessed life. Are you ready for that, guys? We'll answer some questions. We'll talk about all of that. A couple more things. I mentioned the seminars that I did yesterday and Saturday. We have many, many more very exciting, very informative, truly, absolutely, truly life-defining international dating seminars coming up. They're free. They're intense. Tons of information. Answers to every single one of your international dating questions, and there are only two people who do them. I do them, and John, our CEO, and his lovely wife Tanya, occasionally traveling with him, but it's John or I, right? I mean, that's years and years and years of experience and advice and information. It's candid, but you want it, and so you should come out to one of our upcoming international dating seminars. You can see our seminar schedule at our homepage, loveme.com. We have seminars coming up on the 18th and 19th of this month. We're going to be in Cleveland and Pittsburgh. John will be doing those, Cleveland and Pittsburgh, on the 18th and 19th of August. Last year, we had seminars in Cleveland and Pittsburgh. A lot of incredibly nice guys came out. Both of them were huge. So if you're in Cleveland, if you're in Pittsburgh, you'd like to meet John, our CEO, you want to drill him with your great questions and get his great information. I'll tell you what, John's very intense in a seminar. I've seen John do his seminars. The last time I saw John do his seminar, I told him I was proud of him because his passion hasn't dropped one bit in 23 years. How does anybody do anything for 23 years and not compromise their passion just a little bit? But I guarantee you, John hasn't. So you come out to the seminars and hear from the founder of this whole entire industry worldwide, and let John share his candid information with you and empower you and enable you to get those barriers out of the way so that you can get in the video you're watching right now, which is social footage that's about 3 weeks old. The social footage you're watching right now is from our July Kiev social. How about that, guys? Get yourself in that video and meet these beautiful women. Come to our international dating seminars and find out how to do it and save money with our seminar discounts. So August 18th, August 19th, Cleveland and Pittsburgh. And then in Chicago, September 8th. Mel, you hear that, buddy? I love Mel. I got a friend in Chicago named Mel. He's one of the nicest human beings I've ever met on the planet, and I love him dearly. He's my brother. September 8th, Mel, we'll be in Chicago. September 9th, we'll be in Milwaukee. We've got some guys in Milwaukee that have traveled with me recently on tours. Can't wait to see you guys as well. September 22nd, Austin, Texas. September 23rd, San Antonio. Those are the next 6 international dating seminars that we've got coming up. Information available at loveme.com. Here's the deal. You've got to make an RSVP for the seminar so that we make sure we've got proper seating and refreshments for you, lunch is provided and all that. Again, it's a free seminar. You can't beat it, guys. It's such a great event and so much great information, but please RSVP bud@loveme.com so I can make sure that you're well accommodated and you don't end up standing up in the back or anything like that. All right? Yeah. I owe some tremendous thanks to the following people. Thank you to my amazing Kiev staff. Thank you so much to our affiliate partners in Kharkov and Sumy, Ukraine. Thank you to Anna in Odessa, our great manager, and her terrific staff. Thank you very much, Elena and Nikolaev. You threw a great social for us as always. And to our affiliates in Kherson. And to the 60 gentlemen that I traveled with last month, you were fabulous, fabulous tour comrades. It was a ton of hilarity, a lot of laughs. It was really great to get to know so many of you and to watch your romances unfold. And you know, it was hot as, yeah, it was. It was that hot. Almost as hot as Phoenix when we were in Ukraine. A little sticky. You know, we had a few minor inconveniences that we had to put up with, such as international travel. But everybody handled it like gentlemen. We were classy and we were fun. I'll tell you about a moment. I don't mind sharing. It's a real story. But toward the end of the tour, I was walking toward our hotel entrance. There's a long walkway toward the entrance. I turned a corner and I started up this walkway, and I had a whole bunch of my tour clients sitting just having coffee or a beer and chatting together, and as soon as they saw me, they broke out in applause. And I gotta tell you, I almost cried. I don't mind saying that. It was humbling for me to be able to be with such awesome gentlemen that I deeply, deeply admire, and they were paying me thanks and respect for what was definitely a challenging but extremely rewarding international group romance tour. As a result of that tour, friendships were made that are going to last. Relationships and love, you know, relationships definitely culminated. We're going to have some of the people that have been on our tours in the next webcast, probably have at least one couple share their story with us. We've got a lot of stuff going on. I got a call this afternoon from my friend Jeff from Nebraska, who met his wife in St. Petersburg on one of our last St. Petersburg, Russia tours. And I remember Jeff and how interesting he and his courtship with Irina was. And I think I last saw them in 2011 in Chicago. We had lunch together. And he called me up out of the blue today and said that he and Irina now have 2 little boys, one who's 3 and 1. So much good stuff going on. And none of it would be the least bit possible without all the people that I just mentioned. Behind the scenes, we've got Kirk. You never see him, but he's completely responsible for all of this awesome video and all of the stuff that we're doing right now, which has just made us more visible to you when you need us, right? And we've got a great videographer in Odessa whose name is Victor. He films our Nikolaev social, our Odessa social. He does a lot of great work for us. His work is top-notch. We've got so many people who do so much work for us, not to mention Michelle, my sidekick, many of you have talked to, who handles all the logistics for all the tours seamlessly. I'm blessed as blessed can be, right, guys? Some of you know what it's like to work on a really highly effective team, right? And you know what it's like to work where you feel like you're part of a family and part of something really important. When I walked in the door here at the office, it was clear that the morale was higher. People were higher because we were together again. It's not so much that I'm walking in the building, but we were together, and we're better together than we are apart. So I just feel tonight as blessed as I can possibly be to do what I do, and I'm really, really thankful. What can I say? And I know from having just done a whole bunch of seminars this year, and having just done these tours and meeting guys for the first time, that there are thousands of you out there that are watching, that are going to watch this video and this webcast, that are just now finding out who we are and what we're about. And let me tell you guys, you do not have to be alone. You can absolutely fill your life with a beautiful life partner. Not only that, you can travel internationally. Many of you have not traveled internationally yet. When you travel internationally, it will change your life and the way you look at the world forever in a very, very, very positive way. You'll make friends, you'll find romance, your life will just be enhanced exponentially when you travel internationally for the first time, hopefully with us. So let's talk about stuff, right? We're watching some great exciting new video that's less than a month old. We just brought a whole bunch of video back to show you what our socials were like in Ukraine in July. As you're watching our clients and our client women meet each other, now there's Dr. Ziegfeld. Let me tell you something. I'm going to do this. You know that I do this, guys, right? I occasionally break exactly my thought right in the middle of what I'm saying when I see something in a video. There's Dr. Ziegfeld. I had a chance to sit down and talk to Dr. Ziegfeld. He's from Switzerland. He's quite a fascinating guy, but he has alternative methods for treating extreme forms of epilepsy. Famous, amazing international personality on our tour. It was so many really cool and interesting people. All right, so as you're watching the interaction with Dr. Ziepart and this beautiful blonde and our other clients and our beautiful women, I want you to remember, I always remind you of this, these are people who just met. These are people who literally just met in the last 15 or 20 minutes, in the last half hour, and you can see the body language, you can see how interested they are, the eye contact, how they're talking to each other. We're looking at the women who are coming into our social, every social all over the world, in China, in Thailand, in the Philippines. There's a scene like this. It's the ladies who are coming in, stopping at the registration desk. We've got a list of invitees. They have to be on our list. So we do some things to make sure they're on the invite list, and then they can come inside, get a name tag, and go meet the guys. And you're seeing the guys with their interpreters going around the room meeting the ladies. This is not staged. Clearly it's not staged, right? It's a very wonderful, natural, extremely rare, very unique, and fun experience. You got to be part of this, guys. You got to. And the way you become a part of it is you ask your questions, and let's get things out of the way so that I can help you become a part of it. If you have your eye toward Ukraine, that's great. If you have your eye toward China, we got tours coming up to China, Colombia, Costa Rica, Thailand, all over the place. Peru in October. Lots and lots of stuff. All right, I'm going to go answer some questions for you right now. Press the green box right above me, guys. Click it and send me your questions throughout the webcast tonight. I will answer your questions. I'm going to just have a little heart-to-heart about a simple and blessed life and how to build it, something that I've been thinking about for a little while, in just a moment. Renee says, hey Renee, welcome man. I live in El Salvador. Is there a problem for a Latin or Hispanic person like me to find a lady on your website? Heck no. Are you kidding me? Of course not. We have gentlemen from all over the world who participate in our programs, Renee, and you definitely can. Honestly, one of the most popular and awesome guys I was ever on tour with was a dude from Argentina. He was an almond farmer from Argentina. Just as a random example, right? You definitely can, Renee. Don't hesitate for a second. We have men from all over the world who travel with us to meet women from all over the world. You can definitely do it. Chris says, can you cook me chocolate chip cookies? Chris, you know what? No, but my mom could make killer chocolate chip cookies, dude. Killer. You can't even imagine. In fact, my daughter can make killer chocolate chip cookies. Anyway, Sean says, hey, Bud, glad to have you back. Hope you had a good time in Kiev. Sean, thank you. I did. All signed up for the Cleveland, Ohio seminar coming up. Good. Can't wait to meet John. Yep. Wondering if you know if John is planning to do a live stream with Ukraine ladies at the Cleveland, Ohio seminar. Good question. I don't know. If I know John, he probably is. So I can't guarantee you that that's going on, but if I know Sean, he's probably talked to our manager in Odessa about that. So I'll tell you what, Sean, just shoot me an email, bud@loveme.com. Remind me to look into that for you, and I'll reach back to you, bro. Okay? Yeah, Don says, great to see you tonight, Bud. Don, thanks, buddy. To my friend Rick in Florida, bless you, man. So thankful for you. To all my buddies, I appreciate you very, very much. Ralph says he'll be in Kiev Friday. Ralph, good for you. It's pretty hot. Ken says, just a quick question. I'm finding a lot of beautiful women from Playa del Carmen. Might be a stupid question, but what tour does that fall under? Ken, thanks for your question. It doesn't. We don't have tours to Playa del Carmen. But if you'd like to meet any of the ladies that you're writing to from Playa del Carmen, you can call us up. Let us know what dates you have in mind, and we'll try and work something out for you, okay? Here we go. Dennis says, will we do a seminar in San Diego, California? Just did one, Dennis, actually about 6 weeks ago in Dana Point. We love to go to San Diego. We'll definitely do another one. We'll be in other parts of California soon as well. I suspect it'll be another 3 or 4 months before we're back in San Diego itself. But hey, man, we have one in Phoenix coming up later on in the year. That might be a possibility for you. And in the meanwhile, you just keep tuning in here on Monday nights, or you call me up and I'll answer any questions that you have. I've got tons and tons of resources for you, which I will be happy to share. Stephen is asking, with the Asian Club, this is an individual introduction package, if you will, that lasts for 7 days or 10 days or 14 days. How many days do you stay? It's up to you. You can stay 7 days, 10 days, or 14 days. And we have different prices for those, but you can check that out at loveme.com. But Stephen, again, 7, 10, or 14 days are your options. Just go, bro. Just go. Mel says, since I have been on a group tour to Ukraine already, if I were to sign up for the Peru tour, would I get a discount as a past client? You sure would, Mel, and you totally should go. $100 will save you on your tour to Peru, my friend. All right, Ed's got a great question. Ed says, does one's wife or fiance have to get their green card before they can get a driver's license or a social security card? No, they can actually get, so here's the deal. When you do a fiance visa for somebody, Edward, when they come through customs into the US, they will be asked if they want to work during that 90-day fiance visa period. And if they say, yes, I would, they'll be given approval for a social security number, which then leads to availability for work. It also leads to the ability to get a driver's license. So that's a lot of stuff that you can work on right up front. So just remind her when she comes through customs on her 90-day fiance visa to say, yes, I would like to work during that 90-day period. Right on. Rob says, how do you get started? Rob, I'll tell you what, I'm really glad you're here. The best way to get started, spend some time at loveme.com. Spend some time right here absorbing all the great information that we've got for you. If you go to loveme.com, go to the top of loveme.com, you can click our YouTube. Look, let me just show you where it's at. Kirk will help us out here. If we go to the home page at Love Me, here we are. Right over here, guys. All these great social media icons. Click the YouTube icon and that will take you to our YouTube channel, which has got great information for you. Lots of videos, many of which feature me, I don't mind saying, but there you go. There's lots of good stuff for you right there. Come to our seminar if you can. Check out our website, do our webcast, go to our YouTube page. That alone, my friend, is tons and tons of information. And Rob, don't be afraid to call me up and just ask questions, and I'll answer all of them for you, okay? Just to make sure you're comfortable getting started. One of my previous tour clients from the last tour a few weeks ago, Brandon from Florida says, hey, Bud, I love you, man. Brandon, you're beautiful. Don't change a thing. Thank you so much for an amazing time. You're awesome and blessed to have spent, Brandon, thank you, man. I was blessed to spend time with you. You're one of the best guys I've ever traveled with. And when I came around the corner in the middle of that Nikolaev social and saw you sitting with that beautiful girl that you spent the rest of your time with, and who I'm absolutely sure you're going to get engaged to, dude, you can't imagine, right? You know the personal situation that I was encountering, which I'll talk about in a moment, and you know how much that meant to me, right? I live for watching our gentlemen, our clients, the best guys, honestly, guys that I'm incredibly lucky to be hanging with, meet these beautiful women who have otherwise, frankly, as crazy as it sounds, no chance of finding a husband. Two incredibly lovely people met each other, Brandon and I believe it's Irina, right? Very cool. Hopefully we'll hear from Brandon on an upcoming webcast. So think about that, my friend. Ed says, for a first romance tour to Ukraine, would you recommend a 2-city tour or the longer 3-city tour? Can some of the Russian women on your website come to the Ukraine socials? Great questions, Ed. Thank you. I'll answer the latter one first. We won't see any Russian women at the Ukrainian socials. It's complicated for Russian women to be able to do that for a number of reasons. You will see literally hundreds and hundreds of Ukrainian women at our social events. I ain't kidding, bro. We had 400 plus women in the Kiev social a month ago. We had another 400 plus women in Kharkov. We had about 100 women in Sumy. It was a much smaller social, but we'd lost a good amount of the group by the time we got to Sumy. We had 300 plus women in Odessa, 300 plus in Nikolaev, 200 plus in Kherson. Hundreds, my friend, hundreds. Is it better to do a 2-city tour or a 3-city tour? I'll tell you what, there's no real wrong answer there, because sometimes it's interesting, but we have a lot of people who meet in that 3rd city. And I think it's just because 3 socials, you're meeting more people, you're more relaxed by the time you get to the 3rd social, you've been in Ukraine for a week already. I don't know. But the 2-city tour offers you a few extra days. You know, when you're meeting somebody in Odessa, meeting somebody in Kiev or Kharkov, one of those 2-city tour cities, I think personally it's nice to have those extra days together, because I'll tell you what, bro, romance is going to happen, man. Unless you do something phenomenal to flub it, romance is definitely going to happen. And when you find yourself face to face with this beautiful girl and she's reciprocating all of your interest and everything that you feel for her, the last thing you want to do is get up and leave Dutch. You want to put down some roots, if you will, and spend some time together. So I think the 2-city tours are a little bit of an advantage, but you get to meet so many more women if you do the 3-city tour. Some of it may depend on your schedule. If you're able to come back soon, then meeting more people up front might be a good thing for you. If it may not be very soon when you're able to come back and spend more time with your girl who you've met on a tour, then maybe the 2-city tour gives you a little more time to spend together up front, and that's helpful, right? I hope that was helpful. I'll come back to more of your questions. You keep them coming, guys. Line them up for me. Click the green box and send me your questions, okay? let's talk about something kind of near and dear to my heart. Some of you guys are just starting to find me. Some of you are here for the first time, but a good number of you, hundreds of you who are going to watch this, have been with me for a long time, right? So in case you haven't heard, I'm just going to fill you in on something. I made a list a few years ago. I was in a dark place and I was trying to figure my way out of it. I was just thinking about, what does it take to be happy? What does it take for Bud to be happy? And I made a list of the things that make me happy. I made a list basically of the things that I need to do or acquire in order to find myself in what I call a very simple and very blessed life. Because believe me, what it takes to make me happy is incredibly simple. And if I manage to acquire those things, I will be indeed very blessed, right? And very happy to have them. So I made a list of what I call a simple and blessed life. A very good friend of mine reminded me of this list. I'd almost completely forgotten about it. And then recently, I started thinking a little bit about it. And then a friend reminded me of it recently. So some things on my simple and blessed life. Just to give you an idea, I'm sitting in a dark place emotionally a few years ago, and I wrote down how nice it would be to have a very small, very simple, charming little home. And I mean little, a cottage. I really need nothing extravagant personally. A small little home. A big flower garden. Love flowers, love gardening. Big giant flower garden around my cozy little home. Some of the things from my list include a bedroom with a fireplace. That's easy to do, frankly. It really is. I wanted as much time and love and memories with my kids as possible. I've got 5 kids, including a great stepson, and I wanted very much to just get more time with my kids because, let's face it, for those of you who have kids, you know those are really your best memories, right? I wanted a couple kayaks that I could share with a friend now and then. Maybe one of my sons, one of my daughters, we could go kayaking off the coast of Maine very easily. Simple enough to do. It's free. You put your kayak in the water and you go. Down the Allagash River, down the Boundary Waters, out on Lake Superior to the Apostle Islands. Something simple and fun like that, right? When I was young, I used to sail small sailboats. They're a lot of fun. They're really fast. Takes nothing to sail them. I thought maybe a small sailboat sometime would be kind of nice. Camping equipment. Love to camp. Really good camping equipment. Getting outdoors. Being in nature. Very simple things. I thought about hanging baskets of flowers. How much I love those beautiful hanging flowers. Just love them. Absolutely love them. And simple things. Peace of mind. Someone to give my love to. Someone to fall asleep with and wake up with. Beauty in my surroundings. A big bathtub. These are some of the things that I wrote down. Climbing an occasional mountain, walking on the beach, painting paintings, surrounding myself with art, good poetry, coffee. What's more simple than that, right? 1 or 2 extremely good friends. I'm blessed to say that since I wrote that list, I've acquired a whole bunch of extremely good friends. In that regard, I am doubly blessed. Right, Smitty? Right, Rick? You know it, man. So guys, look, just what makes your life simple? What makes your life happy? What are the things that you can acquire so easily that we just lose sight about? One of the things that I know about men, the men that I meet, the men that I talk to, the men that I engage in my seminars, is that our lives are so predictable. For weeks and months at a time, we let a lot of time go by without making progress, real progress toward the list of things that make us happy. Maybe your list is complicated. Maybe you want to change careers, right? Maybe you want to dump that mortgage that you've got another 10 years on. Maybe you want to achieve financial freedom and you're just getting started. Maybe your list is complicated. But for many people, the list of things that make us happy, honestly, especially men, relatively simple, right? Food, sleep, women. I mean, whatever. The list is relatively short and simple. Your list, I bet, is very similar to mine, isn't it? Very simple and blessed life. Every day we should wake up and think about the things on our simple and blessed life list and go after them. Because in my case, I have absolutely no excuse. Every damn one of these things on my list, every single one of them is completely and easily attainable with just a little bit of work. And if I achieve half of this list, I'm going to be incredibly happy, honestly, right? A very simple and very blessed list. So let me tell you what's happened in the last 30 days. A month ago, I'm at a seminar in Miami. And I get a call from my brother telling me that my beloved mom has very few precious hours. She's in a hospital in northern Maine. Talked to a doctor, a heroic doctor, a wonderful doctor, a woman in northern Maine who said, you know, quite honestly, your mom's on life support right now, and we can keep her that way until you arrive, if need be. And I have 3 other brothers who all raced to my mom's side. They were all there before I was, and I got there in time, of course, to talk with my mom a little bit and say goodbye to her. And I know this is a very sad topic for tonight, guys, but there's a silver lining that I just want to give you, okay? So I'm at my beloved mom's side, and I'm telling her how much I love her and how amazing she was, and I'm reminding her that although I've traveled the world for years and years in this blessed, amazing job that I have, that I've never met anybody like my mom. She was the most simple and wonderful human being. She had no enemies. And then I reminded her that in my whole entire 52 years of life on this earth, I was never angry at my mom. Not for 5 minutes was I angry at my lovely mom. She was an amazing sweetheart of a woman. But it occurred to me that we're here racing to get to my mom, racing, and just with hours to count, right? We're literally counting the hours, and then we're hoping for just another hour and another hour as my flight is delayed and all kinds of crazy stuff is going on. The journey to get from Florida to my mom in northern Maine was epic, to say the least. But we made it. And we counted the hours. We really did. And there was a time when my brothers and I were together. My son was there. You know, some other great family members were around us, and we're literally counting the hours, the last hours of this angelic woman's life. Now, some of you have been there, right? A good many of you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? And I'm sitting there thinking, man, you know, we're just wanting one more hour and one more hour. I'm sure there's something else I need to say before we let go. And we count the hours, the final hours of an epic 76 years of life on this earth. Strangely enough, my father, my beloved dad, passed away 2 years ago, just before the July tour. I did the July tour 2 years ago, right after I buried my dad, and I did this July tour right after I said goodbye to my mom. Not an easy thing to do. Thank God for the gentlemen, classy guys, the awesome dudes that I travel with. But the point is, in our lives, guys, right now as we are, all of you watching me, I hope it's true of 100% of you watching me right now, we have days, we have weeks, we have months, we have years. We're not counting hours. We're not in that position yet. We've got lots and lots of life in front of us. We're not down to our precious final hours. And I'll tell you what, an hour is precious. It really is. Sometimes all we really want is one more day to give our love, one more day to repay our debts, one more day to talk to people and friends and thank them. Sometimes we're literally just desperate for a small amount of time with somebody in a relationship that we know is just not going to last. But we're not in that position right now. All of us, we have our remaining lives in front of us. We have days, weeks, months, years of time, but we can't waste it. We've got to make it count for something, because the worst feeling is going to be when we do have our final hours, years and years and years and years from now, we don't want to have wasted this time, right? So we're able-bodied men. The power of that simple and blessed life list, I want you to write that list. If you're listening to me right now and you have any respect for what I do, write your list. Write down the 10, 11, 12, 15 things that would make you happy. So I bet you'll find many of them are incredibly simple. I no sooner wrote a couple of kayaks, and I thought, well, what the heck? I can buy a couple of kayaks, but I don't just buy them, right? I live in Arizona. It may take me a while to use them. There's not a lot of water here. But still, there's nothing stopping me from planting a basket of flowers. There's nothing stopping me from reading poetry. There's nothing stopping me from painting paintings. When you get right down to it, it's all time management and hunger management, right? So manage your hunger and your time and accomplish those things on your list while we have time to do it. And right at the top of that list, brothers, right at the top, you want to find that life mate and give your love to somebody, because your love is precious, your love has value, your love is important. You're a man, a strong masculine man. You've got strength and masculinity on your side. Somebody wants it, somebody needs it. You got to go find her and give your love and be fulfilled, because that's what we're here for, right? Yeah. And while you're at it, come to our seminars. Call me up, talk to me, let me help you. Let me take that trip with you guys. Let's travel the road together. Find love and be happy, because we can. More questions. Brofius says, on average, how many men go to the social events? That could be anywhere from 15 to 50, depending on where and when we're throwing a social. We do socials in the following countries, guys. We do romance tours where you can travel with us to meet women in the following countries: Ukraine, the Philippines, China, Thailand, Colombia, Costa Rica, Peru. What did I leave out, Kirk? Anybody? Is that everyone pretty much? I think we got it. We actually have an office in St. Petersburg, Florida, the very first office we ever opened in the early 90s, and it's still there. And we have a lot of women in St. Petersburg, Russia. If you'd like to travel to Russia, you can and meet our women. It won't be a group romance tour, but we'll host you and introduce you to those ladies in Russia. We'll be happy to do it. You can go to any of those socials, depending on the time of the year and which destination we're going to, because some are clearly more popular than others. Could be anywhere from 15 to 50 guys. But I will tell you this, the number of women at the social will be 8, maybe 9, maybe 10 women per guy, depending on how many guys are on the tour, and that's a lot, right? Vincent is asking, how many women are willing to relocate to the USA? The truth is, Vincent, once you fall in love, once you create the romantic relationship, think about that. You've created a romance. You're in love. It's a true, deep, thriving love relationship. You love this woman. She loves you. You've tested this relationship. Things have come up. Misunderstandings have happened. You've worked through them, and you're still okay. Little disappointments here and there. Schedule changes that prevented you from being together when you wanted to. Little things that happen. But you got through all of them, and you're still shining and looking great. Good to see social footage from China. Once you've created that love relationship, Vincent, there's no other thing to do but get married, because if you don't get married, you're going to lose the love relationship, right? That's why you're here. You wanted to create the love relationship that you could bring into your life, so you'll get married. When you get married, if you can live where she lives, she'd probably be very happy to do that. It'd be nice for any of these women when they fall in love to not have to leave behind their world, their parents, their family, maybe their work that they're familiar with and comfortable with, their surroundings, their culture, and all the things that they are in control of to come to America. America is great, but when you immigrate to America as a fiance, for a long time, things are just not predictable. It's a little up for grabs when you're going to work, where you're going to work, how you learn the language, what kind of status you're going to have. Can you open a bank account? Can you drive a car right away? All of those things have to be worked through, and they will get worked through. Most of the women will be okay with relocating to America, because it's going to come down to they're going to have you, their loving man, their loving husband in their life, and relocate, or they're not going to relocate and they're going to lose it. Yeah, all right. Brofeus is also asking, if I'm living and working in Ukraine, can I participate in the socials? You sure can. Just call us up or write to Michelle. Group Desk, that's one word, groupdesk@loveme.com. Chris is asking, when is the best time of the year to book a flight to Ukraine? I'd like to do the 17-day tour next summer. Would it be better to fly in and out of Kiev, or fly into Kiev and out of Odessa? You're probably going to find it easier to fly in and out of Kiev, Chris, and it's quite easy to get from Odessa to Kiev when the time comes to catch your flight out of Ukraine. What is the flight like? Well, it's long, but there's food and alcohol to help you get through it. When a woman comes over on a fiancé visa, how does she cover it on insurance? If you have insurance, she can be covered quite frequently on your insurance. You just need to contact your provider and find out what the requirements are for adding her to your insurance. But women who are here on a fiancé visa can frequently be covered by your existing insurance. When do you think, Bud, he asked, you'll be back in Orlando? 6 months from now, probably, my friend. Maybe sooner, we'll see. We'll see, Chris, right? All right. Questions, guys. If you got them, click the green box and let's have them. We got plenty of time. We're watching some videos from recent tours. Looks like Latin America. How nice. But we've got some great video that Kirk's showing you of our recent tours and our recent social events from all over the place. A lot of Ukraine, some China, some Latin America, some Philippines. That reminds me, last week we probably had our Philippine event, right? Or is it this week? Last week? Okay, cool. If you guys are interested in the Philippines, you should be. We've got great tours coming up to the Philippines between now and the end of the year. We've got one this month, as a matter of fact, going to Cebu. And I'll tell you what, guys, I work with some ladies from the Philippines who are married to the gentlemen who also work with us, and they're fabulous. And the women in the Philippines speak English. Huge, huge advantage for those of you who are interested in meeting women from the Philippines. Huge. Check it out. So we'll be watching some video footage of Peru. Looks like we've got some Peru footage. That's nice to see. Very beautiful women in Peru. Check it out, guys. Honestly, 8 different countries you can choose from to go and find the love of your life. And you pick one and go, guys, because the love of your life is definitely waiting for you out there. All right, questions. Let's have them, guys. press the green box. Let me know what your questions are. Send them to me. Don't go easy on me. We've been waiting a month to be together again. Let's have your questions. I mentioned at the beginning we have some upcoming international dating seminars. For those of you who just joined us, you can attend. The schedule is at loveme.com. It's right there on the homepage. Don't miss it. We've got tours coming up this month. Just to show you how crazy and spread out all over the doggone world we are. We have tours coming up this month to Cebu, Bangkok, Thailand, Cebu City is in the Philippines. So the Philippines, Thailand, Colombia, and then we'll be right back in Ukraine for a 2-city tour and a 3-city tour. You can bookend them together to make a 5-city tour. Awesome. Just awesome. We're looking at footage from the recent Kherson Ukraine social. Will be in Kherson again in September, a little over a month from now. And you, my friends, I'm not kidding you. You can be right in that social. You can be right in that video. We'll be in the very same venue. Probably a few of the same women will come by. We had a lot of women at that social. Not many of them found their life mate. Some of them did. So an excellent chance for you to put yourself right in this video, meet some of these women, make some dates. That's how it starts. Get some dates. First dates become second dates and third dates. And before you know it, romance is well underway. This is video footage of Kherson, July of last summer. That was a great group. God, I love those guys. When are the iDate Awards, Kirk?
Voting's already started for it. I'm not sure when it's gonna conclude, but voting just started.
All right. You probably heard Kirk telling me that voting has already started for this year's iDate Awards. If you'd like to vote on the iDate Awards, that's a good question. How are we doing that?
Nominations.
We're doing nominations right now. So voting hasn't started. Nominations have started. And if you'd like to make nominations, is there a topic on the iDate Awards for like coolest dome of an international dating guru? Do we have one of those? Because I want that. I'm going to crush that. Anyway. All right. iDate Awards are taking nominations right now, guys. Just Google iDate Awards. You can do it. Questions, concerns, hang-ups, issues, rumors, gossip, NFL predictions. Let's have it. What about age differences between men and women in these various countries? Is Latin America more okay with age differences? Asks Vincent. Or Ukraine, Thailand, etc. My question relates to cultural differences between Western versus non-Western countries. You know, Vincent, what I find is that women all over the world answer that question very similarly, and they answer it in this way. Women from Colombia, from the Philippines, from China, from the Ukraine, all over the world will say, I don't mind meeting a gentleman who's older. In many cases, that's really okay with me, but we have to be from the same generation. We've got to be basically 10, 12, maybe 15 years of age difference, maybe. If we go beyond that, we're really in the outer limits. And if we're beyond 20 years, you're going to be older than my parents in most cases, and that's just going to be a little too weird for me, the women will say. And I believe that's exactly how the vast, vast majority of women feel. Similarly, when you're thinking about the age of women, remember that many, many women in Colombia, many women in the Philippines, especially in their 20s and early 30s, they're going to want to have children. Or many of them are going to be single moms and they'll already have a child. So that does play into your decision as well. If you're going to meet women in their 20s in Colombia and the Philippines, you're having children. The vast, vast majority of those women are going to want to do that. So just be open to that. And, you know, hopefully that would be an age-appropriate thing for you as well. The good news is, guys, many of us are in our 40s, 50s, and 60s, you know, and above. And that's great. The majority of women you're going to meet around the world in the places that we go to in their 30s, 40s, and 50s are also extremely attractive. They look great, and they're perfect for you. They really are. Bob is asking, when are you leading another tour? Good question. I do believe I'm leading the November Ukraine tour. I don't think that's been confirmed yet, but I'd be amazed if that weren't the case. I've led the last November tours, probably the last 6 November tours. So I believe I will be leading the November Kiev tour. And I'll tell you what, I'm thinking pretty heavily it's time for me to see another little bit of territory. So who knows? Maybe I'll lead a tour in another direction. If guys want to do that, you can let me know. But I should be leading the November Ukraine tour, and I'm totally looking forward to that. Does any country have a higher ratio of marriages compared to others? Asks, yeah. Gentleman from YouTube. Well, as a matter of fact, the Philippines has a very high ratio of marriages. Ukraine has a pretty good ratio of marriages. China does as well. Thailand does. Actually, Many of these countries do, but definitely the Philippines has an advantage, and that is because the women speak English. In the other countries that we go to, in Costa Rica, about 40% of the women that you meet at our social events are going to speak English. That from our great manager Gustavo in Costa Rica. Outside of Costa Rica and the Philippines, it's 15% of the women in most cases everywhere you go. So 15%, it's a good number of women. I mean, 15% of, 1,000 is 150 women, right? So, I mean, there are a lot of women that can speak English. There are a lot more that can't when you're going to work with interpreters in order to create your relationship. And that's not nearly as hard as you think it is, guys. Not nearly. So working with an interpreter can be a great way to meet somebody who's getting very little attention because she doesn't speak English, but she really likes you, and you have great attraction and chemistry, many, many things in common. She'll work hard to make you relaxed and comfortable with her. She'll be very happy to be with you. The two of you will have an incredibly strong chemistry and attraction together, and you'll be fine. After a couple of dates, you'll find ways to communicate. There are all kinds of ways to communicate. Google Translate is a great program. There are other similar translation devices that you can use. There are ways to communicate with each other as you're learning each other's language, as she's learning English. So don't worry about that, my friend. Let's get some more questions in. We're watching video footage from, I think this is Kiev, maybe Kharkov. Where are we? Where are we? Poltava. Boy, was I way off. All right, Poltava, Ukraine. Okay, Sean says, how much of a discount do you guys give for attending a seminar? Well, it's pretty significant, Sean. When you come to our seminar, you'll get a significant discount. You'll save $200 off a Ukraine tour. You'll save $100 off of any other tour. We also give you $200 worth of express mail when you're writing to the women. $200 in your next $200 of correspondence will be part of your tour deposit at the seminar discount. Give you 30 minutes of phone translation time. It amazes me how many guys are writing to women and believe that you're in love with women you've never talked to. That is just silly. It's silly. You could definitely talk to the women on our site. You should totally do that if you think things are getting kind of romantic between the two of you. Just talk to her on the phone. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. So you can arrange phone translation time easily with the girls on our site. But when you come to our seminar, one of the things we'll do for you, Sean, we'll give you 30 minutes of phone translation time. That's a lot. So the seminar discounts are very significant. You got to come to a seminar to get them. For those of you signing up without coming to a seminar, we've got some great stuff for you as well. Questions keep coming in. YouTube. What do the women's parents think if they marry a man 10 to 15 years older than their daughter? It's going to depend on the age of the girl, to be honest with you. If the girl's 19, 20, 21, I'm not sure. The parents will probably be okay with 10, 15 years of age difference. I don't know that you have to have 10, 15 years of age difference to marry when you're 20, 21, or 22, if that's going to happen. I don't know how many women get married at that age anyway. If she's 25 and a guy is 35 or maybe 40, I think the parents think that's natural. I think they think typically that's okay. If she's 30 and the guy's 40 or 45, I really don't think the parents have a huge issue when the age difference is 10 years of age difference, even up to 15 years of age difference. Every now and then someone will disagree with that. Certainly there are parents that are out there that would disagree with that. But what we find is that where the age difference is 10 to 15 years, most of the time the parents are totally on board with that, my friend. Great question, though. Thanks for asking it. Scotty says, let's go to Machu Picchu. Let's do Machu Picchu in Peru in October. Scotty, we've got to talk about that, brother, because I'm kind of liking that. I'm kind of liking that idea. Guys want to go to Peru with me in October? John's going to love me, man, when he hears that. Who wants to go to Peru with me in October? Bud at loveme.com. Let's take a poll. Maybe I can make it happen. Why not? Steve is asking, would it be reasonable to travel from Odessa to Dnipro, these are cities in Ukraine, guys, to Poltava to Kharkov to meet a specific list of women using a modified Euro plan in 10 to 14 days? Wow, dude. That's intense. I have no idea if that's reasonable, Steve, to be honest with you. I think that's probably a lot. I really do. Number one, imagine every date that you have is going to go well. You're going to, at some point, want to spend time with the women that you're meeting. And if you're going to try and go to 4 different cities in a 14-day club package, you're spreading yourself out pretty dang thin, mister. You're going to meet a lot of women, but I don't know how far and how developed any of those relationships are going to get. To a certain extent, I think you should cut that in half. Go to 2 cities and meet a bunch of women in 2 cities at most, my friend. That way, when you meet someone you like and she likes you, you're not going to have to explain to her why you've got 3 more cities to go to, to meet other women. I love it, guys. Ken, I like it, man. Pretty funny. I don't know, man, if the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl or not. Stuart from Australia says, hey, just wanted to ask, if a guy gets on well with any of the beautiful women from the socials, can they choose to stay longer in Ukraine? Of course, absolutely, Stuart. You know, you can do it. There are some costs that are involved. It shouldn't be too bad for you. You may need to redo your airline ticket, for example, back to Australia. You want to get some hotel or maybe an apartment for those extra days. All of that can be worked out. Happens all the time. Men meet women at the social events, want to stay longer to spend more time with them. It happens all the time, every time we do a tour, and we can certainly provide you tons of support and help you do that. So for sure, Stuart. In fact, if you're a good guy, if you're a realistic gentleman, there's an excellent chance that exact thing is going to happen to you. I tell guys all the time on our tours, at the beginning of our tours, women in China, women in Thailand, women in Ukraine, women in the Philippines, women everywhere we go are looking for realistic gentlemen, men who are realistic in their expectations of who they're partnering with, men who are realistic when it comes to age difference, and gentlemen who have class, gentlemen who are cool. If you're not a gentleman, quite frankly, you have no business here. And I'll tell you what, a couple of dudes I just traveled with clearly were not gentlemen and should not have been there, but the vast majority of my 60 guys were wonderful gentlemen. If you're not a gentleman, you're going to crash and burn. It's that simple. Women on these tours are not interested in anybody less than a gentleman. I'm doing you a huge favor by telling you that right now. If you're not a gentleman, save your freaking money. Do something else, but don't show up on a tour acting like a jackass, because that's not going to go anywhere. Here's the good news. If you're a realistic gentleman, the women love to meet you. The women are going to give you their time. They're going to give you their attention. They're going to open up and give you their affection. If you're ready to put aside further introductions, they're going to open up a relationship with you, and you're going to go deep, my friend. You're going to create that love experience. If you are a realistic gentleman, a good guy with good old-fashioned family values, a healthy respect for women in relationships, realistic expectations, and you're ready to get on a plane and go meet somebody. If you possess all of those qualities, dude, you know, I can't completely guarantee it. I wish I could, but I'd probably put money on your success. There are so many beautiful, lonely women in the world. Frankly, there are many beautiful, lonely people in the world, but of course, we do what we do. We introduce men to women. There are many, many, many beautiful, available, emotionally and otherwise, women in the world. You just have to go out into the world to meet them and create your love story. Good questions tonight, guys. I feel the fellowship. I'm really thankful for you. I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you very, very much. And I want to know what questions you have, what we can answer for you. We're looking at social footage from Kharkov, Ukraine. You know, 5, 6, 7 women sitting at a table with nobody to talk to. And every now and then, one of you will come over and plunk himself down. Look at that beautiful couple, really pretty girls, probably in their late 30s, early 40s, just sitting there with no one to talk to. You pan the room at a social, you see it all the time. The women come. It's a 4-hour event. They will sit and wait patiently for someone to talk to. And you know, our camera can show you that, obviously. You pan the room and you see women sitting with no one to talk to, a couple of very pretty girls sitting on a white sofa, and no guy, just waiting for one of you to go over and sit down and say, hey, how are you? My name is so-and-so. Can I say hi? Absolutely. Sit down. We're glad you did. We wanted to meet you. And it's wonderful and fun and easy to do. Women from other countries, guys, women from Ukraine, women from, God knows, the Philippines, women from China, they're quite interested in meeting foreign men. To a certain extent, the fact that we are foreign to them gives a little bit of an exotic element to the introduction. In other words, sometimes it's more fun and more interesting to meet somebody who's from another country and another culture. Here's an example of that. How many times have you guys heard a woman with a Russian accent just speaking, and you've responded to that like, wow, that's cool. Man, there's just something about it. It sounds exotic, it sounds interesting. There's just something really appealing around that, right? How many times has that happened? I bet you felt that before. Women might feel the same way when they meet us, hear us, see us, learn about us. It's exotic sometimes, just to meet somebody from another culture who's different from you. Exciting to watch all of that unfold at our social events. Kiev. There it is, guys. Man, that was one hot social. We had over 400 women who came to that social that night. Questions, concerns, hang-ups, issues, gossip, rumors, NFL predictions. Let's have them. I'll answer questions for you for a few more minutes, guys, and then I'll shine off. Is it safe to travel all over Ukraine in a rental car? Well, I'll tell you what, bro. Actually, yes. It's safe to travel all over Ukraine. You're not going to want get too close to the eastern border on Russia, probably. But Kiev, Kharkov, Odessa, is it safe? Define safe. You know, the roads are terrible. There are potholes everywhere. Driving in Ukraine sure looks to me like 6 lanes and no rules and the biggest game of chicken in your life. But a lot of people rent cars and drive in Ukraine. GPS works in Ukraine. I've known men who have done that. I'd probably do it to some extent in a smaller city like Kharkov. I don't know that I'd try it in Kiev. That's a little tricky. But yes, absolutely, men do it all the time. I think it's about as safe as traveling anywhere in Europe in a rental car, my friend. Good questions, guys. Bro's got some plans, man. He's talking it up tonight, man. You're gonna go to Ukraine, rent a car, drive around, meet some girls. I hear you, man, I do. It's what you should be doing. Man, I had such great guys on my last tour, right? And I just remember 2 young guys who both spoke Russian and how charming they were. And they were in their 30s, and I know it sounds corny, but I wanted to adopt both of them into my family like immediately. They were incredibly nice guys. So Dimitri and Boris, wherever you are, I hope you're doing good, man. When I went to Odessa, I lost you on the Kiev tour, but I hope you finished strong, and I hope you're well. It's my pleasure to travel with extremely awesome guys. It's great to meet people. It's great to impact your lives. I absolutely love it. Vincent says, we're watching these videos tonight, and the format for meeting women at the socials appears to be non-structured. The men and women approach who they want freely, approaching tables, versus a speed dating type structure where every 10 minutes you're switching tables and rotating. Is that correct? You know, I actually think the speed dating concept has tremendous value, and we do the speed dating concept just about everywhere but in Ukraine. We've done speed dating in Ukraine, and it's great for a lot of people, but I think that, honestly, there are just too many people. When we do a social in Ukraine, 300, 400 people, you can't speed date your way through 300 and 400 people, right? So you're right, Vincent. When you watch our socials in Ukraine, we're going to just pair you up with a really good interpreter and turn you loose. And you'll tell your interpreter, that girl in the blue dress, that one in the green dress, the girl in the polka dots, make sure I get a chance to talk to them in the next hour. Your interpreter will say, absolutely, how do you want to do it? Where do you want to start? Let's go. And your interpreter will take your arm, take you to a table, help you meet the ladies, get you off and running quickly. It's great. Man, just looking at my guys on my tour who I'm deeply, deeply proud of. Good guys. What a great tour. What a great staff. Yes, Vincent, you're right. If you're going to go to Ukraine, it's going to be pretty much open format for meeting the women at the socials. Yeah, man. Great questions, guys. Few more minutes. I'll take 1 or 2 more questions from you. Bob says, I'm 62. I'm realistically looking at women in their mid-50s. Where'd you go? A lot of women in this age range attend the socials in all countries you visit, or more so in one. Bob, good for you. You're smart. If you would like, you could also meet women in their late 40s. I'm absolutely sure that they would be quite interested. There are a number of them that will come to the socials. There are more of them that will be happy to meet you outside of the social events. Places like Ukraine, China, and Costa Rica are probably where you will meet most of them. There are definitely some in Peru as well. Those are some great options for you, probably in that order, my friend. But we have women in their 40s and 50s everywhere we go. We just have more of them in those countries. So yeah, good for you, Bob. Bob, just do it. Trust me, bro. Just do it. I'm telling you, just do it. There are so many beautiful women in their 40s and 50s in Ukraine, in the Philippines, in China, in Peru, in Costa Rica. Nobody's paying any attention to them at all. And they're wonderful. And it's all yours, brother. So go get your girl. Andy says Uber works fine in Ukraine. And he therefore never found the need to rent a car. That's true. Uber, is alive and well in Ukraine. Way to go, Andy. That's true. So, bro, maybe that helps you out a little bit, right? Rick is asking if there's any word on going to Lviv. Lviv is a great city on the western border near Poland. And you know, Rick, I don't think we're going to Lviv. It's a great city. There aren't supporting cities around it. So if we were going to go to Lviv, we'd have to go to Lviv and just stay in Lviv. And there are some women from Lviv that have registered with us on our site, but there aren't many. So we would be, for all intents and purposes, just kind of starting over in Lviv. And I don't think we're going to do that. I don't think that's happening. So Vincent is asking, what about other countries? Vincent, I'm sorry, for what, bro? Other countries for what? So yeah. Vincent is asking about speed dating, I believe, right? All right, so Vincent, we will do the speed dating format in all other countries but Ukraine. In Ukraine, we're not doing the speed dating format, but we're doing it in Actually, we're doing it in Latin America and we're doing it in the Philippines. In Thailand, I don't think we're speed dating. I think it's kind of open format in Thailand, and it's probably open format in China. I don't think we're doing speed dating in China, but in Latin America and the Philippines. So what is speed dating? All of the women come in, they sit at tables, the tables have numbers on them. You have a list of tables with the numbers on them. Your interpreter is going to make sure you go from table to table to table, spend 10, 15 minutes at each table, meeting the women, introducing yourself. At the end of the night, everybody will have met everybody. And it's fun and it's interesting. A lot of men find it very difficult to walk up to a group of very beautiful women and introduce themselves. Speed dating helps you, right? Your interpreter will take you to the table. Hi, this is Bud. He'd like to meet you ladies. Let me introduce you to him. Here's a little bit about him. And start the conversation very nicely and very easily for you. Some men have very specific tastes. They'll walk into a social, 300 women in the room, and there are 3 women they want to talk to, so they'll go and meet those specific 3 women right away, and I get that. At the end of speed dating, usually in these other countries, there's some open time when you can just meet whoever you want to meet. But in Ukraine, it's an open format, guys. You're going to meet whoever you want to meet from the first moment in the door, like my friend Dimitri in that video. Mark says, great webinar, nice to see you back. I'm 42, I'm looking for an older wife. That's different. How do Ukraine ladies feel about a younger husband? Well, actually, most Ukrainian women honestly have no problem with a younger husband. That's kind of a rare opportunity for them, but they'll have no problem with that. So interesting, Mark, but you could do it totally. If you're 42 looking for women who are in their mid to late 40s, 50s even, you could certainly do that. So if you need more help or information around that, you let me know. But yeah, bro, you can do it. All right, guys, look. Hours matter. Days and weeks matter. Don't lose them and don't let them go by. The most beautiful thing is at the end of our lives, like my lovely mom, we can say our goodbyes, all love, and we let somebody go. And you realize that here is this wonderful life of people around you who love and appreciate you, and we have that opportunity to say goodbye. My mother was on life support when I said goodbye to her, and she cried on life support. I'm not kidding. Isn't that tender and special and wonderful? And there we were counting the minutes. My mom heard some of what I told her, at least, if not all of it. And then she slipped away. And now she's with my dad, and I'm very proud of that and happy that is the eventuality that she went to. But man, I got life to live. I know my brothers do. I know all of you do. And a lot of you have been through that already, right? A lot of you have been through that years ago. And we know what that's like, to count those final hours. But doggone it, guys, we're here and we're alive and we're strong men. The thing that I think is the saddest thing in our culture is this huge epidemic of loneliness affecting so many people. And deep, sad, soul-crushing loneliness affecting so many men like you and like me. Why? It needn't be so. There is a world full of human beings out there who would love to partner, receive your love, and give love back to you. But dude, you got to stand up, look at the guy in the mirror and say, let's go. Right? Let's do this. And go do it. Put on the man pants, get on a plane, and let's go. So you're here for a reason, and that reason is so you can learn how to do that. Keep learning, keep watching, keep asking questions, and it's just a matter of time, man. And I'm going to introduce you to somebody. I'll be very proud, and I'll celebrate that with you, all right? Questions, concerns, hang-ups, reach out, bud@loveme.com. We got seminars coming up in Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, Chicago in the next 2 months. Make your RSVPs at bud@loveme.com. You can see the seminar schedule at loveme.com. It's right on the homepage. Kirk, thanks for everything. Guys, enjoy. We'll be back next week, same time. I'll be here for you. We'll have a great topic and answer more of your questions. Have a great week until then. Thanks.